Hey, welcome to this Windows channel, and this is a kind of an observations video of Microsoft Windows operating system and a little bit of, you know, comparing it to Mac OS 10, which, technically is its closest rival, we'll say. Um, I read a lot of articles of tech stuff, and I read a lot of posts from the average user and everything. And there are things I understand, there are things that I don't understand, there are things that people don't understand that I do. And I just wanted to share my honest personal opinion, and of course it's my personal opinion on Windows and Microsoft. And a lot of people ranting about Windows 10 and Windows 8 and Windows 7 is just so good. And and here's my thought on the thing here. First of all, Windows 7, it's not a bad operating system. Okay, it's true, it's not a bad operating system, and when you're used to using it, it's okay. But you know what? As I look through the different Windows, boy, does Windows 7, when you look at it, look old, look like some old ancient operating system. It's almost like when we were in Windows 7 and we would look at Windows 95 or something. And you know what? It is an old operating system. True, it does the job once again, like I say. But I always, find it uh, peculiar when I see somebody posting, "Oh, Windows 7 forever. I don't want to have those new crappy operating systems." That's where you see that people are not willing to advance and to have new styles and new ways of doing things. People never want to change because I see that so many times. But you know what? Look at Windows operating system. This is Windows 7. This is what Windows 8 looked like. This is what Windows 10 looked like. One thing for sure, when you look at that, I can tell you one thing. Microsoft really, really works hard at innovation and making things so different. And you can't say that Microsoft is copying anyone. Microsoft is not copying anyone. Just by the way the operating systems are evolved. I was one of the first to just love Windows 8. And I'm not alone. I have some of the viewers of my channel and my shows that just love Windows 8. And it is a great operating system. Yeah, but when you innovate, one of the things that people say, "Oh, well, you do things wrong and they're always wrong," and they're when you innovate, it's difficult to have it right the first time. Anybody that does something new that's never been done before doesn't really get it right the first time. People, some of the Apple fanboys, they will tell me, "Oh, wow, Apple has it right all the time." No, it doesn't. Lots of stuff on Apple isn't correct. Lots of stuff on the Apple side is bizarre. And one of the first things that everybody agrees on pretty much is, boy, does Apple doesn't know how to do a good mouse. You know what? I use a PC mouse on my MacBook when I want a mouse because it works just damn better than all of those things that Apple just, tried to do. But they're trying to innovate. They're trying to do a mouse that's different from everybody. But you know what? They have a problem getting it right. Everybody has a problem getting it right when you try innovation. You can't say that Microsoft is copying anyone because this is so different. This is not OS 10. This is not. It's new. It's something else. Windows 10 is that operating system that they took what people just didn't like in Windows 8 and they're trying to mix it in a way that it looks better, that it works better, that it just seems better to use. But you know what? From innovation comes problems, People also have a problem adapting. And it's very difficult because as I have a lot of clients and I see that when they go from, for example, Windows XP to Windows 7, a lot of them are lost, and that really basically baffles me because it's not that different. Windows 7 isn't that different from Windows XP. I don't understand why people get lost. That always makes me wonder, why are you lost when you went from one to the other? What's the difference? There's, but not a lot of difference. I'd understand that you get lost because you got into Windows 8 and you're like, what the hell am I doing here? But it's interesting to see that. Look at this. Windows 7 to Windows 8 to Windows 10. You can't say that Microsoft isn't working hard to innovate and make things the best they can. Let's look at the three last versions of OS 10. This is Lion 10.7. This is Yosemite 10.10, I believe. And this is the latest one, El Capitan. Wow, I don't see a difference. Basically, there's no innovation here. Like, somebody on the channel once left me a comment saying, is it me or there's no more innovation? When I get a new version of iOS on the iPhone, it's always the same. Yes, it's always the same. There is no innovation. If you look at iOS 7, iOS 8, iOS 9, where the hell is innovation in there? There ain't much. There's always the same thing. And it's good if you don't want to change and you always want to have the same way of doing things. But you know what? I'm the kind of guy that likes innovation, that likes new stuff. I like Windows 10. I did love Windows 8. That was a nice operating system. You know what? Except for one machine that I use with Windows 7, just because some of the hardware that I need works on Windows 7 better. Yeah, I'll never go back to Windows 7. I would even install Windows 10 everywhere that I can. I just don't want to have Windows 7 anymore. It's an old operating system and it's an old way of doing things. And it always baffles me when I see people saying, you know what, oh, this is crappy. I don't want to have these styles. I want to have this. I don't want to have that. That's just like old grumpy people that just want to stay put and do nothing, don't see nothing new, and they just want to stay in one place and they never evolve really. So, that's kind of a peculiar thing, and that's why I think Microsoft really, really rocks at innovation. And like everything that's new, you don't necessarily have it right the first time. So that's my little input here on that. Why not share your input, what you think, why you stay on Windows 7 and don't want to go anywhere else? And I don't want to have anything with that crap of, Windows 10 spying or stuff like that. I don't want to hear that. Here, what I want to hear is reasons why you don't go to Windows 10 or haven't gone to Windows 8 for some reason. Or reasons why you love Windows 10 or Windows 8 and never want to change that also. So, why not post your own little observations? Please be polite. And it's going to be interesting to see all the different comments. And if I get enough comments that are interesting, I'll probably post a second video, follow-up video, where we'll talk a little more about this and see why people are or not moving along with operating systems. If you enjoy my videos, why not subscribe to my channel? You'll be informed when new videos are online. Give us a thumbs up if you like the videos. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let us know. And hopefully you enjoy our videos and will continue following us on this channel.